Good morning, wrestling fans, and welcome to PWR today. It is a glorious Friday morning, October 29th, 2021. The man they call Meathead and the Matthew Thomas of Matthew Thomas's Matthew Thomas. Good morning, Matthew.
Hey, good morning, Meathead. Happy Friday to you.
Happy Packer Victory Day as well.
Yeah.
How about that finish last night against the only undefeated team left in the NFL?
Yeah, congratulations. That was two very good teams playing each other. I can empathize with that. I guess empathize is the right word.
Yeah, the Packers were down the top three receivers, no defensive coordinator, all related to COVID protocol. The man that makes the game-winning play was just picked up off the street corner, literally on October 6th, having been cut from Arizona, and therefore, boom, now part of the Green Bay Packers.
Because apparently that's a thing that can happen. You know, if you hang out on the street corner long enough,
Do you think it was Aaron that drives the van? Like, who's driving the creepy white van? Hey, you want to play?
Very possible. It's got to be a household name to it's got to be a household name in order to and get some legitimacy. You know, and white vans have a bad reputation, but I'll tell you what's really scary. Actually, I've run across several just blacked out vans recently, solid black with tinted windows. You know, white vans are creepy, yes, but they don't terrify me like a all solid black van does.
Gotcha. You know, the white van is the van of choice for Bobbleman. Remember Bobbleman?
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
Bobbleman, once you get into his Bobbleman van. All right, Matthew, tell us who sponsors us this morning before we lose them.
Collar and Elbow brand. It's a clothing manufacturer available exclusively at collarandelbowbrand.com. I don't think there's any clothing related to vans or whatnot, but I'm sure some people who drive or, ride.
I guarantee you there's a shirt. I'll interrupt your pitch right here. There's got to be a shirt with Chris Farley saying there's I live in a van down by the river.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
All right.
I can see. Yeah, and Linda Kay, she doesn't live in a van down by the river, but if you enter her name into the promo code section on the Collar and Elbow website, you'll save some money that you can actually use maybe towards buying a new van. LINDAKAY, save you 10%. And if you're at a website where you're trying to buy a car or a van, you can try that promo code. Don't know if it's going to work, but it doesn't hurt for trying.
Hey, it doesn't hurt to enter in Linda Kay's name anywhere, or even just say your name. See, how far it'll get you. So
next time you're filling up at the gas station, prepay and then say, hey,
right. What's your PIN? Linda Kay. And see if you can get 10% off.
Oh.
Fair enough. All right. We've got it seems like we've been already imbibing into JR's new venture as we're talking here, but we're just a little bit giddy. Jim Ross, the color commentator for AEW currently, formerly of WWE, is now a dope dealer.
Yeah. And that's exactly a sentence that I thought you were going to say this morning. That's right. Just now, par for the course, right?
Deeper. Let's go a little deeper. Jim Ross is going to be launching a cannabis business in Oklahoma now. Good old JR has bought a huge plot of land. He currently it's called Black Hat Farms, and he's going to get into the cannabis business along with his daughter, her husband, and the lawyer. Now JR has already got his barbecue sauce. I think it's only a matter of time, Matthew, before we have cannabis-infused good old JR BBQ sauce.
I'm just trying to imagine how that would work. Yeah, it's...
You crumble up the weeds, you mix up the sauce. Yeah, it's just like making a now.
Yeah, I imagine you'd have to it'd be hard, controlling the dose, so you'd have to have what, Meathead, I think you'd have to have pre-measured barbecue sauce at that point, just so you get an idea of what you're getting at. I think a free pour might be a little dangerous.
Well, they used to call me Captain Free Pour when I was bartending way back in the day. Captain Free Pour.
There you go.
But yeah, I think it's only a matter of time, honestly, until JR has, like I said, cannabis-infused barbecue sauce. And I think that is where our world is going.
Remind me, did they call you free pour, or did you say free porn?
I was always searching for free porn while I was free pouring.
Very multitasking man.
Yes. Again, I got nothing against JR in this. I think it's the right way to go, and I think he's really taking his time and changing his venture into something that can probably make him one of the big boys. I think it's a great move. Let's talk AEW news here real quick. Do you remember Ricardo Rodriquez?
I think about him every day.
Okay. And what was his most famous spot in WWF/WWE? It was introducing Alberto Del Rio, the ring announcer for Alberto Del Rio, who was a former WWE star. Ricardo Rodriguez got an AEW tryout for commentary on the Spanish announce team. So he called the show, and from all reports, it looks like things went well. We may see Ricardo Rodriguez joining the Spanish announce team.
Fantastic. Bring him on. And I might have to dust off my 17 years of Spanish that I took in various school and college to listen to his feed.
¿Dónde está el baño?
Where is the restroom, please?
Yep. Mi largo. I mean, we can continue going on and on. Mi largo, and then I was going to say pinga, but I mean, I don't need to, start making the show a filthy.
Wait a minute. This is our first bilingual episode. This is technical. Oh my goodness. You know what? Maybe that's the next venture. Is that we do these shows and then we record them again in Spanish. Oh my God, Matthew, that is an untapped market. My goodness.
My goodness is right. And I'm silent because I'm trying to think that might be something we need to do. And now I got to learn how to speak Spanish, but I mean, that might be something we need to do.
Well, I think the holidays are coming. Christmas is right around the corner. We can see if Santa Claus will bring us some Rosetta Stones.
Rosetta Stone, Spanish for dummies. All right. Nice. Okay, let's talk Rampage and let's talk SmackDown. First off, SmackDown will not be on Fox tonight. It is, I believe, Game 3 of the World Series, tied at 1 apiece between the Astros and the Braves. So SmackDown goes to FS1, which will have 2 encore presentations immediately following the regular broadcast, starting at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. Now, there's not a ton of matches or segments or people announced for it, but SmackDown will be on, and that really is the glaring difference between WWE and AEW.
Yeah, no, and I mean, it is, you really hit the nail on the head some weeks back when you said, AEW is filming their live events and WWE is producing a TV show. And This is a TV show where you might get a brief synopsis, but you don't necessarily have a match card. And WWE's formula is you're going to tune in and you are going to see this thing develop as the show progresses. I mean, you have a very distinct beginning, middle, and end. And that's the formula that they're running with. That's the formula they've had for quite a while. I think what they need to do is give us something to capitalize on what everybody was talking about after the end of last weekend. Give me some progression on Charlotte Flair, and it'd be a great time for Becky to show back up. I know you just did the brand split, but that's money right there. People are talking about it. People are interested in what's going on with those 2 women.
Yeah, and let's segue off of that too. Charlotte Flair was supposed to be doing media for SmackDown, and she got pulled off due to not wanting her to have to field questions over and over on what happened with Becky backstage.
I don't think it is, but my goodness, if this whole thing was a work, what a great move for WWE. What a way to get people talking about you. And I think that's even if it's not, you've got to make money with it, man.
Right. But they've got people talking about them, but what are they doing with it afterwards?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. And that's really all the SmackDown preview we have for you, because they choose not to give us anything to preview.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to see Roman. You're going to see
Brock Lesnar officially assigned to according to the WWE.com website, he is officially a SmackDown member, by the way, even though he's technically a free agent and suspended. He's been assigned SmackDown.
You know what? Let's make a new segment here. So this is Friday morning, and of course, I guess you and Linda can talk about it on Monday. But let's see how close we can get to being accurate with SmackDown. So
Okay.
you're going to see Roman. Roman's going to come out and talk. You're going to see Baron Corbin. He's going to come out with his buddy, and they're going to talk. And Charlotte's going to come out and talk. And you're going to have some variation of matches amongst these. As far as people wrestling, I think you're going to see the Usos in action. You'll most likely see Sami Zayn in action, maybe Corbin as well.
I got a bit of news on Sami Zayn as well. Apparently on the UK tour, Sami Zayn will be getting an NXT title shot.
Ooh, I kind of like that. Oh, my goodness. But, yeah, so that's mine. And that's not to – I'm not trying to be derogatory on SmackDown, but, I mean, I think those are most of the talents that you're going to see in some way, shape, or form.
We'll also see a return of Hit Row.
I like it.
Okay, that's SmackDown preview. Again, we'll talk about it on Monday morning, but I bet you we're closer than we're supposed to be.
No, and the thing with Hit Row, I mean, like if we get what we got last week, a squash match, I mean, I think that's a good move for those guys right now. You know, you're still trying to introduce the SmackDown audience to who they are.
Let me ask you this. Let me contradict you. Is it, though? Because if you just started them off on a brand new show with all these new talents that you're introducing, they're doing squash matches with people they pulled off the street.
Yeah.
Shouldn't there be somebody else in there?
I don't know. You can look at it one of two ways. Let me ask you this. Were you surprised last week? Because you and Linda talk SmackDown. You and I, we have not gotten to meld our minds about it. When they were doing the introduction packages with talent, were you surprised to see Sheamus in the intro package? I get it. That's what they're taking the new acquisitions through. But my goodness, it felt a little weird having Sheamus have to
multiple-time champion was part of it.
Having to introduce himself to any brand.
Right. Yeah, I mean he's from Glasgow, isn't he? Or is he from Belfast?
I thought yesterday morning was our geography show.
Yeah, I don't know. But we also, speaking of that and thinking about yesterday morning, we also have a new ring announcer.
Oh, that's right.
So there you go. FS1 tonight, 8 Eastern, 7 Central. Now let's talk AEW Rampage, 10 Eastern, 9 Central tonight. These three matches have already been announced. It's Bryan Danielson taking on Eddie Kingston in the World Title Eliminator Tournament. It is Britt Baker and Abaddon, and it'll be a trick or treat no DQ match. And Dante Martin with Matt Sydal.
Hey, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I think that this match is made for Danielson to advance. I think you're going to see.
Tournament's made for Danielson.
I think it is. Yeah, I think it is. And you know what? I'm glad to see Abaddon getting a featured match.
So I was going to say let's talk about. We'll come back to Abaddon in a second. Let's talk about Bryan Danielson taking on Eddie Kingston. And Bryan Danielson wins, and which we believe he's going to. If he wins and goes on to face the winner of Orange Cassidy and Jon Moxley, do you put Moxley against Danielson or do you put Cassidy against Danielson?
Moxley. I mean, I think that is a big money match that I presume you would probably get at the pay-per-view. Does that mesh with you?
That's where it happens. It happens at Full Gear, which is the 1 year anniversary of Kenny Omega taking on Cowboy James Storm, Hangman Adam Page for the #1 contendership, and now he's wrestling Kenny Omega for that belt.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Moxley Danielson that's a top tier match right there.
The other way. I think
really?
Danielson Orange.
Man,
Moxley doesn't fit. And we don't have Moxley and Danielson.
Yeah.
That's not a match that I want to burn up in a tournament.
You know, I'm gonna share an unpopular opinion. As much as I enjoy Orange Cassidy, I think he's got too good of a record right now, man. I think that he's won way too much this year in 2021.
Okay.
You know, and here's where my next evolution of Orange Cassidy is at. I want to see a little bit more of the Orange Cassidy that we saw and of all places when he was ringside for the Chris Statlander match, where he got that just insane degree of intensity and started screaming. Like I want to see that just every now and then a little bit.
Okay. Back to Abaddon, and I had cut you off earlier, but let's talk Britt Baker and Abaddon.
Yeah, I think this is going to be probably the most that Abaddon's been featured on Dynamite or Rampage. Yeah. Britt Baker, your champion's still got to go over. She's still being pushed very strong. I don't think there's any danger of that happening, but I'm really glad to see this match get the spot. And here's the thing. Let's go back to the SmackDown AEW formula. These being announced ahead of time, these 3 matches, it gives it a level of importance. And I look at somebody like, say, out of this whole card, Abaddon is probably who needs that spotlight more than anybody. Yes. By having her on the card.
When was the last time she was on a proper TV show?
I don't even know, man. Months. But by having her on a card, it gets people to look forward to it, and it gets us talking about it. The WWE formula, whether it be a Raw or whether it be a SmackDown, you would probably see something like this featured second, third match in or wherever. But WWE, with their booking on their shows, they consistently tell you what's important, what's not important. Okay. The thing that's going to open the show, whether it was the 4-way ladder match last week where you get all 4 competitors out to start, and then you get the various interviews sprinkled throughout, and you have that in there. You were consistently communicated by WWE that this is what's important. This is the main event, and everything that's not this, is delegated to mid card. That doesn't seem to be as prevalent with AEW because AEW has their lane and their spots for all of this stuff sequence a much more equally than you're getting with kind of that narrative storytelling that you have on the WWE shows. So what I'm getting at, just to wrap that up in a bow, is this works so much better, in my opinion, to establish a solid mid card that you can hit the switch and elevate much more quicker than you can with the WWE style right now.
Real quick note here, too. The Dante Martin and Matt Sydal match was supposed to be Dante Martin and Leo Rush versus Matt and Mike, but Mike is out due to injury. So
okay. But yeah, overall, a night of very solid night of AEW that I'm looking forward to.
Matthew, I think you really knocked it out of the park. We need a bilingual podcast.
Hey, you know what? I think we just made some money right there.
I don't know, man.
Or let's take it a step further. You
know
what? Maybe I'm completely off. Maybe one of us talks in English and the other one talks in Spanish to each other.
See, now that's just convoluted. Real quick note I want to mention as well. The former Bray Wyatt changed his name. He dropped any WWE references from all his social media accounts. Now he goes at Wyndham6 on Twitter. So there's no Bray Wyatt. There's no, his 90-day clause is coming up, right? What are your thoughts on what's going to happen with Wyndham Rotunda?
It's somebody that AEW goes after, man. I think the perception there is that's a big fish. And I think that's somebody they throw some money at.
Does he show up in AEW as the leader of the Dark Order, which is something we've speculated here?
Yeah.
Is that too easy? Is that too on point?
I think if that's the case, then you've got to shift what you do with the Dark Order, because Dark Order, we've, ever since, everything happened with Brody, that it's become a much more lighter Dark Order than we initially saw. So I think
you had Evil Uno dressed up as a cowboy.
Yeah.
He was dressed up as Adam Page.
Yeah. So I think you got to do that if you're ready to shift gears. My goodness. Let's see. I'm just trying to think about acquisition. Punk face, Danielson face, Paul White face. Yeah. Cole came in as a heel. I just thinking out loud, man, I know MJF has got his feud with Darby right now, but I would be very intrigued with a heel Wyndham going after Darby. Like that's appealing to me.
Okay. Kind of like what they did with Danielson, where they are Daniel Bryan, where they try to get him into it.
Yeah. Yep.
Sure. All right. Well, hey, Matthew, that is a crisp and clean 20. How does that feel?
You know what? I'm a fan of crisp and clean 20s or 50s or 100s or, you know what? Who am I kidding, man? I'm not a fan.
I mean, what denominations
currency.
does Matthew, Thomas Tender have?
Yeah. I'm not a fan of that typical currency, man. That currency is old hat. Thomas Tender's where it's at, man. So Thomas Tender,
a $17 Thomas Tender.
Well, here's the thing with Thomas Tender is it only is going to be featured in denominations because I don't want to confuse people. So I'm going to be on the front of all the Thomas Tenders, and I'm going to actually be holding up. My fingers are going to signify how much it's worth. So the thing with Thomas Tender is it can only go up to 10 right now.
Awesome. Well, until that surgery. So for Matthew Thomas, for Linda Cam, the man that called me today, thanks for stopping by. We'll talk to you guys Monday morning. So long, everyone.